Hey y'all, it's November the 22nd, I believe. I should have double checked that. I think I'm on the internet right now. I'm not sure how exactly the audio is going to be. I forgot my microphone. Alright, but it's too late for that. It's too late for all that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Alright? Forgot my microphone. If somebody jumps into the room, I'm gonna ask you to kindly let me know if you can hear me. Alright, I think I'm on the internet. It's November the 22nd, 2017. Alright, and y'all, I wanted to take a few moments out to discuss something that I seen on the television. I found it very disturbing. Alright, and I wanted to discuss it with y'all, but before I do, tomorrow is that Thanksgiving. Alright, most people enjoy it, alright, here in America. There's a very very small group of people here in America who probably don't enjoy it, and God bless them. Alright, most people do. In fact, I noticed that even Mexicans who come over here, they love Thanksgiving. Basically, it's just about eating some stuff, and it's nice. It's nice to do, and it's nice to be thankful. Alright, because that is the name of the holiday. If you're going to celebrate holidays, obviously, I would imagine people try to make a little bit of sense of it. And, I got to say, out of all the holidays, I think Thanksgiving makes the most sense. Alright? To enjoy yourself and relax. Enjoy all sort of delightful little delicacies that y'all like to make and stuff. This cranberry sauce and the pumpkin pie and things to make you feel good, stuff like this, and be thankful for stuff. I really like that kind of. I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of holidays, but I do like that whole idea of things of just being thankful. Because a lot of people, they incur and suffer from a lot of stress in their life, right? And I see it. And I worry about them sometimes. These people are stressing out all over the place. These people, I worry about them, and I think to myself sometimes, maybe if they were just a little bit more thankful. I know it's easier said than done. But I think to myself, what if they were just a little bit more thankful? Maybe they would be having a better time with their life. Alright? I gotta say this, in the whole spirit of things, y'all, I wanna be personal. Just for a minute, before I get into the whole critiquing of the streets of Compton, and that is going down. Alright, that's gonna go down in a hot minute, but the thing is, what I gotta say is I'm very thankful, y'all. And the thing is, I think about it every day. It don't even matter what day, every day. Very thankful. Very thankful. And I know everybody has bad days. Some people might be like, well, you can't be thankful every day. There ain't no way, because you're gonna have bad days, and on those days you're gonna forget to be thankful. Actually, no, I don't. Alright? But the reason that I personally I want to suggest something to everybody out there. The reason that I don't really trip off that stuff about having a bad day. Sometimes you poke yourself in the eyeball. Sometimes you do something that is stupid at work. Sometimes you might cut yourself and it hurts, or burn yourself, and you think, "Damn man, I wish I hadn't have done that." All right, I'm thankful. And I think about it every day, to be honest with you. And it brings me a lot of peace and contentment. I'm thankful for not being in debilitating pain. And a lot of people are out there. A lot of people. That's the thing about our bodies. The thing is, they're miraculous. That's what I try to put across, man. It's crazy. All the things that are going right in our bodies. It's like, dude, any number of things can set off a chain reaction, and our bodies could be totally devastated, all right, by something very simple happening. You know what I mean? People have cancers and stuff. People have terrible stomach problems. People have skin problems. We have some of these problems out here, but maybe they're not so bad because people have really terrible ones, all right? Sometimes we wake up and maybe we got the flu, or maybe we got something else. We've all felt it before and been there. Remember how you wanted to die? Remember when you were so sick that you were literally thinking to yourself, man, it'd probably be better if I just write out a note and die, right? You're not feeling that way right now. And that's what I try to think about. It's like, dude, on any given day, I'm not feeling like I want to die in crazy, crazy pain. And that's something that I'm thankful for, man. My body works. I got my arms, I got my legs. I can breathe, all right? There's a lot of people who can't do these things out here. You know what I mean? And then we got our friends and our family and that stuff to be thankful for. Just balling out of control, that's something to be thankful for. I don't have to convince you to be thankful or anything like that. It's just, I want to point out real quick, just the nature of the human being and stuff like this. Everything has to be going right. And usually, we get caught up in our lives and things like this, and we get all carried away, and we don't realize all of the things that are going right now, exactly how they should. And if they didn't, our lives would be total garbage and messed up. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. I'm going to be watching football, probably, and drinking, probably. All right, that's what I'm going to be doing, eating cornbread with jalapenos up in it. But anyways, let's just jump into the topic right now of what we came here to talk about, because I don't know if you might have heard about it. All right, but I heard last night, and I was witnessing to a television show. All right, and these things are dangerous, to be honest with you, because it's hard to know who's watching these televisions. All right, everybody goes home and stuff, and when these old people go home, so they watch their televisions. When these young people go home, I don't know if they're watching television, they're on the internet. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're on their tablets or what the hell they're doing. All right, I don't know what they're watching. But somebody out there is still watching A&E, Arts and Entertainment, and I gotta say, my good friend who I live with right now, just temporarily, and I gotta explain all that real quick. She watches television, or I'm gonna explain that in another totally other video, but she watches television. It was on the Arts and Entertainment channel. I can tell you that she watches this sort of television, and she was very interested in this broadcast. Like I said, it's Arts Entertainment, the streets of Compton. This was gangster. This was popping in the streets of Compton and stuff. It's violent. It's nitty gritty. You want to get in the heart of the streets. You want to really know what's going on. Basically, it's one of those documentaries by Arts and Entertainment. Before I dive into the critique of the thing, let me just say that being a moderate fan of hip hop, knowing who certain rappers are, I always hate it, and I always avoid when they put out like this is Tupac, history of Tupac. Oh, this is Biggie, the history of Biggie. Oh, this is the NWA. This is that in hip hop. It's like, dude, I don't believe y'all. I honestly don't. To be honest, I've seen too many movies regards to Tupac and Biggie and the like to know that they're total complete made up gibberish, basically. I'm sure that they try to get some truthful notes and they interweave it with some retardation that they expect people to believe. And the thing is, I think a lot of people believe it. There has not been a truthful Tupac documentary out there. I can promise you, and I'm not like the biggest Tupac fan, it's just obvious. All right, some stuff is retarded. All right, and this B.I.G. stuff, man, people keep playing it up, stuff like this. I'm not jealous, really. You think about it, it would be kind of dumb to be jealous of people who are dead. A lot of them are dead. All right, and mind you, all the talent in the world, I guess, when it comes to rapping, and this is what they did back then, and all sort of stuff. But Okay, this is the kind of documentaries that I tend to avoid. Why? Because I can guarantee you they're completely up and down, side to side, full of lies to the brim in order to manipulate your mind. All right? And the thing is, like I said, I don't know who's watching this television stuff. I don't know who's watching this arts and entertainment stuff on damn television. If it's little ass children or if it's like old people, what are they trying to do? Are they trying to learn some stuff? All right, mind you, these kind of documentaries, these nitty gritty, these like we'll take you into the heart of the jail. You're gonna go on lockdown, or oh, let's go into the hood. Well, let's go into the most violent hoods, and you can see these savage barbarians how they be killing each other and stuff. And we're gonna videotape it. It's like, dude, this kind of documentary has been around for a long, long time. It's like, dude, it's old, dude. I don't know about anybody else, but it's like, dude, I've seen these time and time and again. It's old. It's like, how many times can you do this? That's what pops up on my mind. So, mind you, Streets of Compton. All right, here's a brand spanking new. You got the game as the person who's narrating it. Brand spanking new about the hood, about the nitty gritty, telling you some stuff that you didn't know. Telling you some stuff that you didn't know. Thing is, I don't know about y'all, but I've seen it all before. So many times. Oh, we went in the hood. Oh, we were on hard times, man. We started selling crack, and we formed up into gangs, and we started killing each other. That is basically the history of these gangs, right? When it comes to the Bloods and the Crips, and in the whole town of Compton, because the documentary is about Compton, the streets of Compton, the Bloods and the Crips. All right. Anyways, here the thing is, it's hard to list out the unbelievable amount of lies and perpetrations taking place in this little documentary. They want to have you believe in all sort of stuff that has nothing to do with reality. And like I said, I have no idea who's watching it and whether or not they're believing it. All right. When I see people who's watching these kind of things on the television, and I look at them, they got blank faces. It's like they're not awake. And I wonder, I wonder to myself, are you even thinking? Or, can you hear what I'm saying? And stuff. When I see people watching this stuff. So anyways, all right, just to briefly summarize what I saw in regards last night. I saw it like out of a sideways eye because Tammy was bumping it on her dang television, all right? So what I saw of it is they went through the brief history of like Bloods and Crips and their like little gang rivalries throughout Compton. And I know I'm saying it's little, but people got murdered. All sort of people got murdered. Very violent, very gangster, things like this. They went through the history and they're explaining step by step how this all came to be, how this situation, which is still in basically extreme poverty and violence, how it came to be. Here's the thing. Here's what happened. Here's what I saw. Here's what they want you to believe. And here's what I want to talk to you about. All right. Here's what they said. They said Compton is a town. And mind you, some of what they're saying is probably halfway true. I'm not denying that. But let's discuss what they said. Compton was a town that began out as an all-white town. All right? I don't know if we had to look back in their legislation as a town, but they said it was completely 100%, absolutely no exceptions, an all-white town by the name of Compton, right there in Los Angeles, and that's how it started. I don't know if that's true. You got to take their word for it. But they said that's what happened. It was an all-white town by the name of Compton. All right? And according to them, in a very simple way, in a very communistic way, the fact is, with no individuality, black people, for whatever reason, from around the area of Compton, started migrating to Compton. They didn't bring up why the black people were starting to migrate to Compton, but they were. So the black people were trying to immigrate into, they were trying to assimilate, or you know what I mean? They were trying to integrate into Compton, which is a deliberately all-white town, all right? And that's known. these black people were trying to get in to live, right? And a couple of them would get in at a time and they would trickle in, but then they would get attacked by the white folks, all right? And I know y'all have heard this kind of stuff like before. And what I must argue, just quite simply, is the complexity of it. The fact is that everybody has to work in cohesion for these fairy tales to work. But anyways, like I said, the black people were kindly and respectfully trying to integrate into the town of Compton. For whatever reason, unbeknownst to everybody, they were trying to do that. White folks beating them up with bats and things like that, and like gangs and stuff, and coming around whenever they found a Negro, they beat them up with bats and stuff. All right, so those black people who were trying to do that, they got real hurt, but for some reason still wanted to come to Compton and live there. All right, so are you still following? All right, so they keep coming into Compton to live there. In fact, they're starting to get more people living in Compton, black people. Right, they're starting to integrate in there, and you know what happens? Because, like I said, they have gangs of white people roaming around Compton and beating, and it was never any more complex than that's a Negro and we beat him up. We beat him up right now because we see him. It was never more complex than that. There was never any backstory to any of that, but apparently there was events where this happened, where white folks came around, saw Negroes. Of course, they pummeled them, obviously. And I just threw him like in a ditch somewhere, right? And so that happened, and it would continue to happen more and more. So it's like a white superiority thing. It's like a white supremacy thing. But the black people, they persisted. They kept trying to come in the neighborhood, and they got more and more black folks in the neighborhood, and even some Latino folks. They got them in the neighborhood, right? And then what happened was this. And this is very important that you remember. It's a very important term. It's called white flight. And white flight is actually, it can be seen as a weapon. Like it definitely is something that can be used as a weapon. All right, it's called white flight. And basically how it works is white people communistically gather together and they'll leave a place all at the same time. And you got to ask yourself why. The reason why is out of spite. And it's called white flight. They do it out of spite because they know if they leave all real quick that it'll really mess up the black folks and the Latino folks that moved into the neighborhood. And that's all that they think about. These white folks back then, that's all. This is the history of Compton, by the way. This is all the white people. All the white people were like, "What are the many different myriad of ways that we can totally oppress black people and Latinos, especially black people?" They said, "What about this? What about white flight? What if we get up out of here with all our money and we don't give no money to the black folks, and we get up out of here? We call it white flight, and we just don't come back." And that's what they did. And at that point, apparently, there was no white people. They just got up out of there. Some white people straggled behind, but even they eventually wound up getting the hell up out of there. It's called white flight. You can't get out of it no matter what. If you're white skinned, you have to answer the call. It's like the bat signal. It's white flight, all right? And it is out of spite, just to hurt everybody else. White flight. All right, so that happened in Compton. Of course, real estate price went down and everything like that. And of course, they fell into extreme poverty. For some reason, nobody had money there. All right, and all sort of crimes started popping off. And of course, like everybody knows, gangs started popping up, such as the Bloods and the Crips. And what they did, notoriously, let's kill each other, sure. But I think everybody will agree that more notoriously, what the gangs would do is deliver drugs. And they did some other stuff. They'd be stealing stuff and doing this and that, but they would sell drugs, get money, right? And they would have deadly wars over it, and they continue to do so up until today. They still do so, right? Why? Because of white oppression. It's white supremacy, baby. All right, you understand? We didn't beat y'all enough with bats. I'm not saying we because I wasn't back there, and obviously I'm all mixed up. But I'm just saying, I'm saying these white folks, they beat y'all. They beat not even y'all because it would be y'all's ancestors, but they beat up some black folks with bats. All right, many times, and then they committed white flight on that community, thereby sending it into extreme poverty and criminality, and it's all due to white folks who used to live in Compton. All right, that's what happened. Meanwhile, okay, so fast forward to today, they're slinging all sort of drugs and killing each other, and there ain't no way out of it, and that's it. And the savage barbarians most of the time, unfortunately. And I'm not really judging anybody, you know what I'm saying? I know there's obviously all sort of people in gangs. All sort of people in gangs. I've known a lot of people in gangs, right? I'm not really judging. I'm not out here. I'm just saying, all right? For the most part, gangs, for the most part, lots of times they do criminal stuff. Lots of times they'll sell people drugs, all right? And that's all right with me. Thing is, they said the history of the gangs, such as the Bloods and the Crips, but especially the Bloods, something like that, they started off in Compton and originated. The gangs started off trying to fend off white people from roaming around in big gangs and beating the crap out of Negroes. And that's how, I swear that's what they want you to believe. And the thing is, if I was a school-age child these days and I believed that television wasn't completely lying to me, then, I might be obliged to think, maybe that is the correct history. No, it's not the correct history. White people weren't pummeling Negroes all over the place and then committing white flight on them to express their white supremacy all over everybody. They weren't doing that, and that's not why Compton is what it is. And the thing is, I don't completely disrespect all gang members. Most of them are savage barbarians doing some all sort of crazy stuff, all right? All sort of it. Understand that? But the thing is, all right, if you were to just tell me, man, gangs, we started off because we wanted money. And we didn't care what we did. We were selling drugs, and we wanted some money and stuff, and we were in poverty. So we started selling drugs, and people started dying and killing each other. I can respect that. That sounds like the truth to me, to be honest with you. That sounds like what I've been seeing since I was born. It's the idea of certain gangs getting together. Maybe they steal stuff. Maybe they sell this and that. Maybe they sell drugs. All right, they do criminal stuff. That's why the gang was invented. It's not invented to somehow fend off white mobs. But for some reason, they wanted to, I guess Arts and Entertainment wanted you to believe that. The game, I don't know if he believes that or if he wants you to believe that or what. I don't know what he believes. But obviously that's all absurd. Right? Why can't it just be straightforward? And say, hey, we didn't have no money. We found a good way to get money. Right? And it turned out to be a bad thing. Everybody started losing their lives and getting killed and stuff, going to prison. The war on drugs is actually retarded. I guess I could say that, but they choose not to say that. And I guess I say all that to say this, man, it's extremely disappointing. It's overwhelmingly disappointing to see people out there, and I don't care how much money they have. That's their own business. They could have millions, they could have billions. I really don't care, but it's disappointing to see people out there who either they themselves are buying into this crazy, unbelievable way of thinking about history. Even the game was talking about, well, do your history. You got to do your history and know what's going on. None of what you said happened, right? Maybe you didn't write the script. I'm telling Arts and Entertainment, none of what was on that documentary was truthful or genuine, right? Lying to people about the gangster culture and stuff, trying to gas it up, trying to make it look more spectacular, trying to make it look all maybe fun and exciting for the kids. That's what it's really trying to do, ain't it? All right, this is what Arts Entertainment is trying to do. Right? We're about to get up out of here, maybe at the 30-minute mark, but it's like, dude, people are really getting diabolical. with the way that they like to misconstrue things. Because if you just kept it very simple as to the true and accurate history of Compton and this and that, gangs and stuff like this, children probably choose to go against it. I mean, if you showed them the real nitty gritty, if you showed them complete, live, and vivid color, all the ugly, stupid, terrible, awkward times when it comes to being in gangs, right? You notice the footage and stuff that they're using in these documentaries. They might have like 17 different people hanging on the corner and stuff, and they're wearing similar colors. They're just hanging out. Lord knows what they're doing besides smoking blunts. You know what I'm saying? And passing 40s around. Lord knows what they're doing. Hanging out, I guess. 17 of them all at the same time, wearing the same color and stuff. And they show it, and to be honest with you, aesthetically, I understand it looks cool, looks powerful, looks like there's a mob there, looks like there's a force to be reckoned with there. I understand it, all right? But that, you know, that's the nice shiny side of being in the gang. Everything else sucks, all right? Unless you're really getting that money, and most of them aren't. Well, you're basically just living in the ghetto. And you're like slinging off drugs, and you're having a terrible time doing it. And there's nothing glamorous about it at all. But these here documentaries that kind of make it look glamorous, and at the same time they lie about everything. Who are they lying to? Who is watching this? Do you know some people watching this? Because I do. I know some people. I don't know who's all watching this, or if they believe what they're watching, or what's going on. But I guess they're sitting there absorbing all sort of crazy history. Not only crazy history, but crazy current events, and we're going to talk about that in one quick second. All right, but like I said, you know, these documentaries, well, they're going to be documenting the history of Compton in the streets. You might want to show some more nitty gritty. Thing is, I didn't see the whole series. I believe it's a series. I'm sure you can check it out and stuff. I did, however, right before going live, I saw the game on an interview. The game, if you don't know, is a rapper. All right, he's been a rapper for a long time, and he's doing the narrating to this documentary, Arson Entertainment, Streets of Compton. And he was saying a bunch of interesting things. I was trying to get a little bit more insight as to the series to see what the hell he was thinking about, and he was talking about it. And I think he is dead serious. I think that white supremacy, in his mind, totally formed the Bloods and Crips and caused them to start killing each other in the streets. And it's still happening today in big numbers. All right. The game was on some sort of interview, and he was talking about the series. And I would actually suggest maybe checking out the series. And here's one of the reasons why. He's talking about his family life and, you know, growing up in gang culture, and his family was all in gangs and stuff like this. And he was mentioning certain events taking place. One to include his father, after his father lost his brother, that would be the game's uncle. After the father lost his brother to some sort of gang violence, then apparently his father then started smoking PCP, and then while he was on PCP, mistakenly sexually did something probably inappropriate with the game's sister. Now, I'm not judging anybody, but I'm just saying that's some like stuff that's probably should be on the forefront, I guess. All right, considering, I mean, it's like, dude, it's believe it or not, it wasn't white folks making people come in and do that. There's a lot of white folks who do that, all sort of incest and perversion and all this kind of sexual deviancy. All right, they all do it, all the races, and it's disgusting. However, I mean, to think that white people in general, as a communist force came in and did that, all that to people, that's what they want to have little children believe, I guess. All right, they want their brains all messed up and all chock full of lies, and it's terrible, and I can't believe it, but that's what they're trying to do. Before we get out of here, I just want to bring up the damn what is it, National Geographic. They're also up to their same old tactics of lying, but see, not just lying, because the television has only lies, basically. Not only lying, but lying big. Lying so big. I'm gonna give you an example. Remember climate change? National Geographic, and we're about to leave out. I know somebody popped in the room. Shout out to you, but we're about to leave out on this note. All right, National Geographic is still up to their lying ass ways, just like Arts and Entertainment are up to their lying ass ways. I couldn't help but be by television, and I was watching today about the extreme importance of the fact is, I guess the oceans are becoming acidic now. Remember when they were talking about climate change? No, you remember when they were talking about a global freezing and that didn't happen, and they were talking about global warming and that really didn't happen. And then they started talking about climate change. Meanwhile, the whole time they're talking about money, and the fact is carbon taxes, and you might have to pay more money for all the stuff that you get. The thing is, none of that worked. They even got to climate change, and that didn't work because people realized that the climate has been changing. It always changes. You can't stop it from changing. All right, it's ridiculous. Why are we going to throw all sort of money at it? And the thing is, I don't think, I'm hard pressed to find people who actually believe that National Geographic means any good. All right, and when people do believe it, it shocks the hell out of me. Right, because they keep being wrong over and over and over. Now that, like I said, as of the past year, couple of years, they've been on climate change, pounding away. By the way, National Geographic is ran by pedophiles, and I've proven that before on this channel. All right, I might leave a link down below later, but the thing is, it is ran by pedophiles. They're lying their asses off about. Meanwhile, they're in cahoots with the Pope and the Catholic Church, also ran by pedophiles. And I don't know if that's a coincidence or what happened. But the thing is, they need you to believe that there's some weather catastrophes that are coming, that are down the pipe, and unless you pay lots and lots of money for the stuff that you're getting, unless you pay more money by way of carbon taxes, by way of energy, they're going to mention CO2 all the time. All right? They're going to say people are bad, people are messing up the earth, and we're very bad. And so we need to pay more money. We need to pay more money is always the message. It's called carbon taxes. The Pope loves it. Leonardo DiCaprio loves it. National Geographic loves it. 2 out of the 3 of those are definitely pedophile-ran organizations. Like I said, they need you to believe that there's some sort of catastrophe. Not only that there's a catastrophe that you can help ward off by simply giving them more money. More money. Carbon taxes. You're a bad person. Please give us money. All right? The thing is, that's their tip. That's what they're still on, and it's not working. Like I said, they have resorted to climate change. You need to give us money. Carbon taxes. Paris Treaty. The Pope says so. Give us money. And that's not working. It's still not working. Donald Trump's not going for it. America in general is not going for it still. And so I swear to you, I saw on the television, right, maybe a couple hours before I came out. It was on National Geographic. I swear they were talking about how the oceans are becoming more acidic. And that's going to be devastating. Meanwhile, I mean, obviously, if you know anything about what's going on in the ocean, there's some terrible things going on in the ocean. Unacceptable, just total chaos going on in the ocean for sure. And that's been happening for a while. Thing is, what National Geographic wants to explain to you is that the oceans are becoming more acidic, and that's going to be devastating to everybody, right? Understand they're becoming more acidic. What's making them more acidic? What's making the oceans more acidic? That's right, CO2. All right? So even if you didn't believe catastrophes are all over your horizons, I mean, granted, there are natural disasters. There might be an upkick of them right now. But the thing is, they want to have you believe that you're definitely in disarray right now, like you're really in danger.
This is what National Geographic needs you to believe. They wanted you to believe that back decades ago, decades and decades, when they were talking about, oh, global cooling, it's gonna kill us. It's gonna kill us. You need to give someone some money. Carbon taxes. Oh, by the way, we're pedophiles. We're ran by pedophiles. Anyways, pay us money. It's called carbon taxes. Al Gore, the Pope, you ever heard of him? They all agree, pay us carbon taxes, all right? Because humans are bad, polluting the earth. CO2, all right? Remember, it's going to cool the earth down. And it never did that. It really didn't do what they were talking about. And then they said, okay, it's too much CO2. We're polluting too much. Human beings are terrible. We're ruining the earth because it's going to warm over now because of all the CO2. It's going to warm over and become very hot. It's called global warming. Pay us money. Pay Al Gore some money, and the Pope and all their friends, pay them all some money. It's called carbon taxes. That's you paying more for what you used to get, but now you're paying more, right? So it's global warming. We have to convince everybody, right? But see, when you're not convinced, because not everywhere is getting warmer. In fact, some places are getting colder. Okay, now we're going to switch it over to climate change. The climate's being changed irrevocably. All right, I'm the Pope. I'm an expert on the weather, and I talked to my buddy Al Gore. He's also an expert on the weather, and we've been noticing some stuff. We've been pouring all our money and our effort into understanding the weather and and the climate, and that's our main passion right now. And what I want to tell you is that the climate is changing, but in a drastic way, and it's going to be total calamity. You're going to need to know about it. But the thing is, you're going to have to give us some money. It's called carbon taxes. You got too much CO2 coming out you. I'm going to have to tax you about that. All right? Whatever you're getting, I'm going to have to double the money on that. Whatever you're buying, double the money. All right? It's called carbon taxes. You're ruining the earth. You're a human being. You're practically breathing out this stuff. It's total toxic. It's completely poisonous. It's called CO2. It's terrible for the environment. It's going to destroy the earth, right? People, throughout the years, people really either aren't believing it or not having enough time to give a damn about National Geographic. Meanwhile, they've been trying to sell this pitch, and nobody really cares or believes it. So now that they've tried all that, they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop there. So now they're going to convince you, or try to convince you, that the oceans are acidic. They're becoming more acidic. Why? CO2. That's why you're a bad person. Even if you don't see disasters all around you, even if you're having a nice sunny day, having perfect weather, understand you're killing what's in the ocean. Because you're a bad person. You got CO2 coming out you. You need to pay us money. I mean, this is the level of lies. This is the complete complexity of the lies. And they're always geared to get you to believe something in order to get that money out you. That's always been the case. All right, anyways, I spent enough time out here. Thank y'all for watching Television Lying to You. These live streams are the way of the future, right? And it was a pleasure sharing this with y'all. And I'm gonna have to holler at y'all later. It's November something, the 22nd. Happy Thanksgiving tomorrow, and I'll holler at y'all later.